When was this seminar? Where and when was it held?
In China on May 23rd to June 5th, 2023.
So 2023.
Yes, sir.
So again, what dates?
May 23rd to June 5th, 2023.
So ilang araw po kayo sa China, Miss Cruz?
May 23rd. Mahina po ako sa math, but from May 23rd to June 5th, I assume that's about roughly about 12 days.
12 days, so
More
more
or
or less
less,
around 2 weeks.
More or less.
Yeah. And this seminar, was it sponsored or did you have to pay for your seminar fees?
This was sponsored.
So ang nagbayad po nito ay yung state of China,
Yes, sir.
China government. Ang nagbayad sa inyo,
Yes, sir.
sa travel ninyo, sa stay ninyo, at sa seminar. Okay. Paano po ba kayo naimbitahan para maging bahagi ng seminar?
Through the Chinese embassy.
Through the Chinese embassy. Pinili po kayo ng Chinese embassy.
They conduct these regularly, I understand. There are others who are also invited from the mainstream media. Pero hindi po kami magkasabay that time. So, I understand that this is conducted regularly. I think yearly. I'm not sure though.
So it is a state-funded program by China where they invite media practitioners such as yourself. Am I correct?
I think this is one of those times where they've invited vloggers.
Okay, vloggers, yes. And can you more or less share with us what was the nature of the seminar?
Oh, they introduced new techniques in social media, such as short-form social media, how to take them. A lot of them were technical, emerging issues, but they also gave a background on China. And I'm sorry, that's all that I can recall.
Okay. So, more or less, kulang-kulang isang linggo po kayo doon, no? Maayos
Dalawa
naman
po.
po ang
Kulang-kulang ng 2 linggo.
kulang-kulang na 2 linggo, sorry. Maayos naman po ang pagtrato sa inyo ng bansang China habang nandun kayo. Maganda yung hotel, maganda yung
Hindi
accommodations.
po siya hotel.
Oh, it was in the hotel.
Hindi po hotel, dorm po.
Dorm. Okay. So was this the first time that your group participated in such a seminar?
I don't know about your group, sir.
Oh, sorry. I mean the group that you were with.
Ngayon ko lang po sila nakasabay.
So you've been
Wala.
there before.
Yes, sir. There is a cultural exchange agreement between China and the Philippines since 1970s.
Okay.
I was in Xi'an for an archaeological seminar, part of our cultural exchange agreement because I'm an archaeologist.
So, si Mr. Mark Lopez, kayo po ay naging bahagi din ng seminar, tama? Oo. Naka-ilang bisita na po kayo o naka-ilang seminar na po kayo dito sa state-funded activity ng China?
Sir, yan lang po yung na-attendan ko po.
Again?
Yan lang po ang na-attendan ko.
Ito lang po yung nadaluhan ninyo? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, pa-correct lang po. Yung punta ko sa Xi'an was a conference
Yeah.
on
okay.
cultural property.
Would you think that the seminar that you attended affected your perspective or the work that you do?
Ako po o si Mr. Mark Lopez?
Kayo
Myself?
po, Miss Cruz. Kasi yun naman
No.
po yung layunin ng mga seminars, di ba? Para mas palawakin ang inyong pag-unawa, mas pagalingin kayo sa trabaho na ginagampanan ninyo. So sa
Pagdating
palagay niyo po ba nakatulong ang mga seminars na ito sa trabahong ginagampanan ninyo?
abogado po ako at ang isang dalubhasa, I think, sa cultural conservation. So yung seminar, it includes a history of China, which also includes an understanding of the area. Matagal ko na pong napag-aralan yon. So medyo yung iba doon ulit na. Pero ang bago ay yung short form, yung pagturo nila ng short form type of video, which is a technical, parang technical na seminar yon, na tinuturuan kung paano gumamit ng ibang mga platforms at yung pagturo ng appreciation ng short form. Ang short form po, yun po yung mga reels, yung mga TikTok, at saka yung 1-minute videos ng YouTube.
Okay. At I'm sure yung na-gain ninyo at napakinabangan po ninyong additional knowledge is the same with those of those other participants in the seminar. Am I true to understand that, Mr. Lopez? Am I correct to understand that?
Mr. Chair, yung akin pong takeaway dun po sa seminar na yun is that it's just an appreciation po of how China media works.
Okay. And from the other participants in today's hearing, were there other individuals there? Kayo po. Okay. Hindi ko po kasi kayo nakilala sa litrato. Sino po kayo? Have you taken your oath?
No, sir, because I was not part of the list that you called, and I did not get an invitation personally. But I came here because I was issued a show cause order for the past hearing that I could not attend because I was in Davao City, in Tagum City, and I came here just to submit that and be with my partner. My partner is Attorney Trixie Cruz Angeles. We are Luminous, the Facebook page and the YouTube page.
So you mentioned that you're partners?
Law partners, and also on the blog, sir, on the Facebook and YouTube page.
So abogado po kayo?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So kayo po ay nandun din po sa seminar?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ano pong pangalan nila?
Ahmed Paglinawan.
Okay. Thank you very much. So anyway, that's all I have to ask, Mr. Chair, no? So thank you very much. At least inamin po ng ating resource persons na nakinabang po sila doon sa state-sponsored seminar. Mas naintindihan nila yung paggamit ng mga reels, ng mga threads, ng mga short videos. Ang pakiusap ko lang, sana itong dagdag kakayahan na naibahagi po nila sa inyo ay magamit nyo po para sa kapakinabangan ng bansang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat.
Thank you. The next interpolator will be Representative Sia John. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Mr. Chair, I'd just like to know, are we still joined by NBI? Is NBI here? NBI? Thank you. Mr. Chair, I just want to know the current state of our laws regulating the spread of fake news, because there have been a lot of discussions earlier regarding the fake news and misinformation and disinformation. I just want to know what are the laws that have been implemented and so far as countering the proliferation of malinformation, disinformation, and if there are gaps within, if there are gaps in the implementation of our laws, or if there be sort of short-handed pagdating doon sa pag-implementa ng batas, or if there's really a need to probably, Mr. Chair, to introduce some measures so that we can close the gaps. I'm sure, and based on the previous hearings, Mr. Chair, I understand that medyo this is a new frontier. I think this is a new area of concern, itong online. There has to be some sort of an additional measures or mechanism to regulate anything, or regulate the social media. Mukhang yun ang hindi pa natin nabubigyan ng pansin. So gusto ko lang po malaman from the NBI, and partially these questions have already been answered or been asked, I think, last hearing to the NBI, but just want to go back to some few salient features that we want to find out from NBI on how they deal with misinformation, disinformation. So gusto ko lang po matanong, when it comes to investigating cyber crimes, is NBI the lead agency, or do you have other agencies involved in that?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. I am Special Investigator Anthony Alfred Vita from the Technical Intelligence Division of the NBI. My chief, Sir Attorney Raimundo, had to go to the Supreme Court for another engagement. Aside from the NBI, sir, the PNP, we also coordinate with the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group and also the ICT and the NTC.
So which agency is the lead agency when it comes to investigating cyber crimes, filing for the necessary charges? Is it the NBI? Halimbawa, kung kung ako'y biktima ako ng isang fake news, no? Kung magpapa-investigate ako, magpa-file ako, sa NBI ba ako pupunta or pwede ako pumunta sa ibang agencies?
Yes po.
NBI lang ba may primary mandate to investigate?
Mr. Chair, you can also go to complainants can also go to the Philippine National Police. With the NBI, they can file their complaint with our cybercrime division.
So when it comes to investigation, it's the NBI. The NBI is the lead agency, no? Am I correct?
We have it is one of our primary jurisdictions, Mr. Chair. Our director is the vice chair also of the
When
CICC.
it involves cybercrime ba, it's, information that is proliferated online. I'm asking if is NBI the lead agency kasi para po klaro na hindi gusto ko lang po malaman walang overlapping of mandates dito ng may agency. That's why I'm asking you straight a question. Is the NBI the lead agency when it comes to investigating cybercrimes?
We coordinate with the ACG,
Okay.
sir. Yes.
Okay, sige. So, yung sabi kasi ni Director Husilos yung CICC, is it CICC still under the DICT or NBI?
It's under the ICT.
Under the
Mr. Chair.
DICT. So, is it a DICT? Is this a council that you do regularly meet? Or do you also do some investigative work?
Mr. Chair,
Or do you delegate the investigation to NBI?
with regards po to CICC, nagkakandak po sila ng regular meeting.
So you don't do
with the
investigative
mounting.
work. It's more of a council. You coordinate and you come up with policies, di ba?
Yes po, sa part po ng CICC. Now, what we do po sa CICC ngayon is they accept yung mga complaint po nung
I know, but
cybercrime.
yeah. So sino po talaga yung nag-investigate? That's why I'm asking first that basic question. Sinong nag-investigate among all these agencies involved in the issue of cybercrime? Who actually is the lead agency to investigate?
For now po kasi ganito ang nagiging situations. CICC accept complaints about cybercrime. Then ang ginagawa po nila, they collect all the informations pertaining po doon sa complaint. And then ini-endorse po nila sa PNP ECG.
Ano po?
PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group po. Doon nila ini-endorse. At there are some cases naman po ini-endorse din doon sa NBI.
Okay, sige. So ibig sabihin, agencies can be investigated, or a case can be investigated simultaneously by different agencies?
Parang ganun po. There are cases po na dinidiretso na sa PNP or sa NBI.
Okay.
May cases naman po na dinadaan din sa CICC.
Okay, sige. Okay. So, gusto ko lang balikan kong NBI, if I may, Mr. Chair. Ano po yung mga karaniwang mga iniimbestigan nyo covering cybercrime? Included ba ito yung mga fake news or misinformation na sinasabi? Is it itong mga fake news na pinag-uusapan natin, can they already be considered as as a cybercrime, or unless there's really a charges filed for a certain individual for it to become a crime?
Mr. Chair, we are with the Technical Intelligence Division.
Ah, yeah. Sino?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, yung regular attendee kasi si Attorney Ang Luben of Cybercrime is in the field right now. So, hindi po kami...
Pero this is just a
Intelligence po.
regular guidelines on how you do investigation. I'm just asking you the policy of NBI. Can say, for example, itong mga sinasabi nating fake news, can that also be qualified or categorized under a crime, and cybercrime, for example, and can already be investigated? Yun lang gusto ko malaman.
In some cases, Mr. Chair, yes. Like, for example, it's, let's say, cyber libel. It can be investigated by our cybercrime.
Yeah, but if there's,
division.
for example, there's no actual charges that has been filed. Kanina nakita niyo po yung ano, no, yung mga pinapakita nila ng mga short videos sa TikTok na wala naman actual na nag-investigate, but we know that the implication of that really is, if not being handled, civil unrest, the very least, disturbance in the streets, di ba? So, for example, there's no actual person that has filed, or even the agency concerned has not filed the case. Can you do then some investigation without even an actual file? Can that be considered as a cyber crime? Categorized cyber, even if without a filing of a certain specific charges?
Mr. Chair, usually there's a complainant to start off the
Ibig sabihin,
investigation.
there's no preventive measure for the NBI to determine whether such videos that come out and online is criminal in nature or not.
Normally, Mr. Chair, there has
What
to
if
be a
yung sinasabi
complainant.
nila na mga tao na nagsasabing may nag-resign na mga police men, tapos hindi pala siya totoo? So, I mean, if you ask me, that is the intent of that really is to, to provoke emotions, incite a certain degree of emotion, so that they would see some sort of unrest in the streets. And it's not really inviting a healthy discussion based on facts and truth, but it's merely to really incite certain emotions, to galvanize a certain support group base. And of course, yun ang nagiging trend. So would that constitute for you under the NBI or the ICT? Have you discussed that there will be some sort of a definition for any agency to at least do proactive investigation so that things might not happen and repeat again? Let me ask you, the ICT.
Mr. Chair, in terms po with the DICT, sa amin po sa Cybersecurity Bureau, ang ginagawa po namin is we do monitoring. Especially po pag may mga recent incident or it's a matter of national issues po. Nagkakandak po kami ng monitoring kasi we know for the fact na may mga following instruction po sa amin to conduct certain to gather informations po doon sa pag ganun.
Okay. Mr. Chair, may I ask NBI? Ganito na lang. Paraphrase ko na lang ang tanong ko. Kailan nagiging cybercrime ang fake news?
Mr. Chair, for example po, pagka medyo libelous na siya, sir. Pag libelous na siya,
Including the pagpapalaganap, ha? Oo.
yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Pagka pinalaganap po, Mr. Chair, then it comes.
So,
Through-
so pagpapalaganap doon.
Yes,
Do
Mr.
you
Chair.
can you at least give me some existing laws, for example, na po pwedeng sabihin natin na pagpapalaganap ng fake news ay apart from cyber libel, no? Ay po pwedeng ma-fall under the certain violation of a certain law. May alam po ba kayo, NBI or DICT, yung pagpapalaganap ng fake news? Meron tayong kasi ang minimin natin sa cyber libel, di ba? Article 355 ng sa Revised Penal Code.
Mr. Chair,
Tama po? And RA 10175. What other laws that may be maybe can be violated by the spread of fake news, or yes, apart from yung cyber libel.
I'm not a lawyer po, pero
Sinong pwedeng magtanong, Mr. Chair? May I ask anybody from our partner agencies? Yes, PNP, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum salam.
The Article 154 of the revised penal code, the unlawful use of means of publication and unlawful utterances, Mr. Chair. And the Article 287, the unjust vexation of the RPC as well, Mr. Chair. In relation to Section 6 of the 10175, Mr. Chair.
So which actually, Mr. Chair, itong sinasabing disinformation and public disorder when fake news tends to cause panic, violence, or public harm, does this also fall under cyber libel, Article 355 of the revised penal code? Do you have an exact provision in there that says when you are causing public unrest, civil unrest, or public disorder, one can be charged with cybercrime?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we can also file cyber libel as well.
O kasi ito eh. Actually nandun sa RPAC siya eh, 'di ba? Unlawful use of means of publication, etc. Article 154,
Yes, Mr.
'di ba?
Chair.
So there's already that legal basis for the PNP and NBI to do some investigation, even if there's no actual filing of a case.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, we do have what we call monitoring or cyber patrolling. And once one of these is libelous or it tantamount to national security, we usually ask for preservation order.
So, how many cases have you already filed in that nature? Yung mga fake news na or mga nagpapalaganap na causing disorder, na wala naman talagang legal basis or verified na information na halimbawa, merong 154 na mga policemen na nag-resign because of their disgust over the arrest of the former president, and that's why there's a quite number of policemen who are willing to, to throw away their badges sa sign of protest. Hindi pala totoo. But that, in a way, really caused some civil unrest to some extent. But under this law, you can already file cases for them, against them.
Yes, Mr. Chair, but we usually nagdi-depend kami sa if there is a complainant. But in the event that there is an absence of the complainant, we usually.
But can the agency, the PNP, for example, be the complainant in this case? Can you file? Can you clear? Kasi gusto ko po maintindihan kung what are the gaps and the loopholes in our laws para po magkaroon tayo ng mas maganda na batas pagdating sa pagka-counter nitong mga hindi tamang mga impormasyon. Yes, PNP.
Yes, sir. If I may, sir. I am Police Lieutenant Colonel Anacleto Daliba. I am the Assistant Chief of the Legal Affairs Division of the PNP Cybercrime Group. Mr. Chair, to answer the question, sir, I would like first to establish that there are basically two cybercrimes under Republic Act 10175.
Okay.
The first one is what we call the cybercrime per se, or under Section 4. These are the, let's say, core cybercrimes. But we also have Section 6 of Republic Act 10175. These are basically crimes committed in violation of the Revised Penal Code or other special laws in relation to Section 6. Ito yung, sir, these are the crimes wherein the perpetrators use IT equipment. Let's say you use a cell phone, you use a computer in perpetrating a crime. Let's say, for example, stapa. Or in this case, sir, libel under Article 355 of the Revised Penal Code in relation to Section 6, sir. Iba pa po yan dun sa cyber libel na tinatawag naman natin under Section 4 of the RA 10175. Now, pertaining to fake news, for example, we have Article 154 of the Revised Penal Code, which is what we call unlawful utterances or unlawful news. Ito, sir, yung spread unlawful or fake news technically. But this is perpetrated as a violation of Article 154 of the Revised Penal Code in relation to Section 6 of the Anti-Cybercrime Act. The process of investigation, sir, is that there is a need for a complainant to go to file a formal complaint for investigation before us, so that we could docket that for investigation. And then we will be applying for what we call a warrant to disclose computer data. This warrant is akin to an ordinary warrant. Well, we go to court, we ask the court to issue a warrant, and then the court now will issue a warrant authorizing the PNP-ACG or the NBI, as the case may be, to order a service provider to give information regarding...
Yeah, well, Mr. Chair, sorry to cut the story short po. So, ibig sabihin, essentially, meron po kayong kapangyarihan to file charges.
Yes, sir, but that is initiated through a complainant, officially docketed for investigation.
Okay, so if there's no actual complainant, the PNP cannot do anything about that?
Unfortunately, sir, we could request for a possible takedown, but it will now depend on the platform or the social media company, for example, Facebook.
No, I'm talking about you filing for charges for further investigation.
Yes,
For example, diba, I have cited to you a specific provision in the law,
Yes, sir.
and you have concurred that there was indeed, and sinabi mo, you have categorized, there are two classes where you can actually file for a cyber libel. Specific law on the matter of spreading false information that causes civil unrest, public disturbance, etc. Diba? And so that's why I'm asking PNP. In this case, you're very much, not only the PNP, but any law enforcement agencies are very much involved in this, for example, in the possible filing of the crime, because you would be the, ang respondent yung pero kayo yung interested party dito kasi we're talking of the collective safety of the country
Yes, Mr. Chair. However, sir, with regard to the procedure of the National Prosecution Service, they will be looking for a complainant who will be under oath, will be subscribing a complaint. So
Okay.
that's our limitation, sir, Mr.
Okay, thank
Chair.
you. Now, what about, Mr. Chair, what about po yung those Filipino citizens who have been propagating fake news but are operating or being settled in the other countries? Do you also have that jurisdiction over them?
Pursuant to, again, sir, RA 10175, when a crime is committed, even if it is beyond the physical territorial jurisdiction of the country, as long as any of the elements of the crime or the devices used can still be located here, for example, the damage, we can investigate. Unfortunately, sir, Mr. Chair, we still need a proper complainant to file a complaint so that we could docket it for official investigation, sir, Mr. Chair.
So, ibig sabihin, kasi what you're saying, Mr. Chair, what you're telling me, what you're sharing to this committee is Article 2 of the Revised Penal Code, no? Concept of territoriality, diba? That there are certain, halimbawa, yung sinabi mo kanina, that there is also some exemption under the general rules. Kasi sabi nila, the criminal laws of the Philippines are only applicable within Philippine territory except when allowed by treaty, committed on Philippine ship or airplane, crimes against Philippine currency, obligation and securities, importance of the products mentioned. Number 3, those committed by public officials and employees in excess of their function, those committed against national security and law of nation and law and order. Tama po ba?
We may use that, sir. However, sir, as of right now, we are only using Republic Act 10175.
What's that? Is that
the Anti-Cybercrime Act of 2000?
So that gives you also the power to investigate those who are living outside of the country na halimbawa, vlogger siya. Masyado siyang politically enticed masyado. Tapos kung ano-ano lang pinagsasabi sa vlog niya, ng mga fake news na unverified facts, tapos nagkukos siya ng in fact, minumura pa nga niya yung ibang politician, naggrabe yung excessive profanity, na may mga vloggers talaga na gano'n, it's too much for my liking, not just because I'm a Muslim, I'm a conservative, but as a human being, I cannot stand the profanity being expressed in their vlogs. Pero mga Pilipino sila, but they're living abroad. Can they still be subjected to to the ones that you're saying, can they still be subjected for investigation or filing of possible charges?
Yes, Mr. Chair. The PNP ACG can
So
still
how do you
investigate.
manage to do that? What other partners do you do in terms of further investigation since they are not living within the Philippine territory? Do you also do partnership with the social media platforms that they've been using?
Sir, mainly, sir, we have strict coordination with other government agencies, just like the DOJ, OOC, sir, and the CICC. We have governmental mechanisms. However, sir, again, one of the challenges is that we need...
Please tell me the challenges para alam po namin
Yes,
paano yung pupunuan namin dito.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We will be needing subscribed documents. We will be needing affidavits. And of course, an affidavit should be subscribed before an authorized person in the country, or if accepted in, let's say, Philippine Embassy. That's another, in an embassy, in a Philippine embassy located outside the country. If, of course, again, sir, in coordination with the DOJ. So,
So kaya nga, what other agencies do you coordinate? Do you do this PNP alone or is it the NBI? Who's the proper agency tama yung tanong ko po kanina. Sino pong mag-iimbestiga doon? PNP or do you do joint efforts?
Mr. Chair, under the law, it's the NBI or the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group who can conduct investigations, Mr. Chair.
So which one is actually the lead agency?
There
Saan
is-
ako pupunta? Halimbawa,
there is no
sa mga
lead-
ordinary na tao. Either way, either of the
Yes,
agencies.
Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now, are you aware also, Mr. Chair, aware po ba kayo din na in other countries, when they do also investigation in terms of this, information digitally transmitted to, online, meron silang tinatawag na let me check ha. Meron parang fingerprinting din Meron din silang digital fingerprinting Kasi I want to know the technology that we have right now in trying to find out kung paano natin mag-conduct ng investigation. Ano yung mga plataforma tinitingnan natin? Do you also request for the local internet service providers, social media platforms, apart from that, yung mga online transactions? How do you do investigation when it comes to cyber libel or the spread of fake news? Ano po yung mga ginagamit ninyong tools para po to further the investigation? Because we want to know exactly how can we cop up our technology and our effort, our law enforcement agency to really use the digital world in order to respond well to the cases or cases of fake news, proliferation of fake news. So, ano pang ginagamit natin dito sa NBI? NBI, let me ask NBI this time.
Mr. Chair,
Are you not competent to answer these questions?
usually it's our cybercrime, Mr. Chair.
Where is he?
He's in the field, Mr. Chair. May operation po sila.
PNP. Kasi sabi mo, ORE. Or PNP.
Mr. Chair, the primary tools given to us by the law, of course, is Republic Act 10175. It is considered as an investigative tool, and also it's
No, I'm asking
IRR.
about the ways and methods by which you conduct your investigation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
In relation to that, there is this thing we call the rules on cybercrime warrants, wherein we are authorized by procedure to conduct investigations. These are our investigative tools. Pertaining to the specific devices or equipment, Mr. Chair, we apologize that we cannot divulge the specific types of equipment.
But can you at least
We have
guarantee this committee that you are at par with the other gadgets being used by our neighbors, or for example in the ASEAN. Halimbawa, just to counter the spread of hindi lang actually fake news dito, Mr. Chair, kasi dito sa national security concern din natin, 'di ba? They've been also using online in the digital world. In fact, there's a thing called the third generation warfare. And we experienced that during the 2017 in Marawi, where they actually recruited foreign fighters to come here, and then they transmit that the transmission of funds for their operation. Gumagamit na rin sila ng technology. That's why I'm asking you, not only fake news, but how can we, for example, correlate this with the issue of WPS? Now, it's really disheartening to hear one citizen here in this room saying that, since mag-water ka, so patas lang, so di dapat tayo maging neutral, kumbaga. But can you help me out, at least understand and guarantee to this committee that you are capable of really running after these fake news peddlers and these people who are really worthy of being charged of cyber crimes? That they are not only destroying the reputation of an individual, but they are causing civil unrest. And even to a point of citing sedition and calling the people to turn away from their governments.
Yes, Mr. With the indulgence, Mr. Chair, of our Deputy Director, we can say that the PNP-ACG is capable and we have the necessary equipment to conduct the appropriate investigations, Mr. Chair.
Okay, let me go to, since may medyo technical kasi yung mga tanong ko, Mr. Chair, let me go to how do you, I don't know if pwede NPI or PNP. Pwede nyo ba i-detalye sa amin kung paano yung proseso? How do you actually manage to identify fake accounts? Yung mga sinasabing troll farms, di ba, usong-uso niya ngayon eh. Ang dami ng mga troll farms ngayon eh. Mga troll farm networks dito sa Pilipinas. These are not organic users. These are paid by, in fact, si Major General Torre, nabiktima din ng fake news eh. Tapos pinuntahan niya actually yung inaresto nila, tapos troll farm pala. Kasi they're spreading malicious information about a certain individual. How do you counter this? I mean, this is a problem, ha? Ito mga troll farms, ito yung mga fake accounts.
Sir,
PNP?
Mr. Chair, sir, with your indulgence, pwede ba, sir, bigyan na lang namin sa inyo, sir?
Why, you are not, can you not, is that classified information, Mr. Chair? Yes.
Mr. Chair,
NBI.
I agree with our colleagues in the PNP because it might reveal the gaps in our.
Are you sure or you do not have anything to share to this committee?
Oh, we have, sir.
You have? Are you in the form of a what? A report?
Mr. Chair, I have with me documents here, which we can give to the committee, Mr. Chair.
So including doon, ay connect ko lang doon sa tanong ko kanina na may mga abroad, Filipinos abroad. Do you also do some IP analysis and yung mga VPN analysis, yung geolocational tags,
Yes,
etc.,
Mr. Chair.
specification determination analysis?
Yes,
Do you
Mr.
also do have that technology?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so you cannot just divulge it out in the open.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Is that what you're telling this committee?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Salamat kayo kasi nagpa-fasting ako. Ayaw kong magtanong. Gutom na rin ako eh. Mr. Chair, I have a few questions I'd like to ask pero they're not competent daw eh kasi wala daw yung mga na-director nila sa But I hope, Mr. Chair, by next time, do we have a follow-up hearing, Mr. Chair?
Yes, I will announce the date of the next hearing.
I hope NBI and the PNP can send us their their personnel or their staff who are competent to answer technical issues. Kasi hindi lang natin pinag-uusapan yung abstract ng usapan na ito, na when to file, bakit kailangan mag-file. We're also looking at your capacity to run after these criminals and how we can help you capacitate your agency so that we won't have any person saying na pumunta kayo doon kasi nagkagulo doon at ganito ganyan tapos magmumura sila sa gagamitin ng platform para magmumura para silang mga walang nanay at mga walang sister at walang mga daughters. Sumusobra minsan Mr. Chair yung kanilang mga bunganga. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you NBI PNP.
Thank you, Representative Sia D. Adyong. The next interpolator will be Representative Ernesto Junicio. You now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If the COMSEC could show the photo shown earlier regarding the Palawan issue. Mr. Chair, requesting the COMSEC again to show the photo, the fake news that being shown that the Palawan is owned by China issue, sir.
Comsec, please present the video or photos.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, sususugan ko po yung sinabi kanina ni Congressman Rog regarding this particular post na kumalat sa Facebook. I was about to ask our PCO representative, unfortunately he's not here anymore, Secretary Jay Ruiz. And also I would want to ask sana si Ms. Pichi Paderna regarding the exposure of these false statements on TikTok. Unfortunately also wala yung Facebook dito sa atin, Mr. Chair. I really hope that in the next hearing they will be present and to be given a chance to ask si Ma'am Pichi Paderna. Your Honor, ito talagang mga photos, ito nakakabahala eh. Si Sir Tarella kanina nagsalita na rin regarding this. This directly undermines the very sovereignty of our country, Mr. Chair, distorts perception both locally and internationally. At this juncture, Mr. Chair, since wala na po yung tatanungan natin from PCSO and from TikTok, siguro I'd like to take the opportunity to ask some of our vloggers, since kayo naman po ang ating mga bisita. Siguro if I may start, Mr. Chair, baka pwede nating tanungin each vloggers, ano pong opinion nyo dito sa lumabas na statement na to, yung kiniklaim ng China that Palawan is not part of our country, but rather part of China. Kung maaari ko pong marinig yung opinion lang ng each vloggers, if I may, anyone can answer at this point.
Mr. Chair, I am not familiar with this issue that is presented in the screen about that story saying that Palawan is being claimed by China.
Just to give further light, Your Honor, Mr. Chair, Palawan, ito nakalagay po doon sa caption Palawan Island, formerly known as Zhenghe Island, was once the homeland of Ming Dynasty. It was always been developed by China government and Chinese. It has nothing to do with South Fei. Even Luzon Island was also homeland of China in early years. Ito masakit dito, Mr. Chair. One day, it must return to China. Doon ako nababagabag, at least sa amin with the district I'm representing, sa amin po sa Tondo, Maynila, there's no batang Tondo who would ever support these claims Now, since we are here, we're all Filipinos, especially the vloggers nakikita ko yung fire sa mga puso ninyo how you post na talagang galing sa sarili ninyong emotions I just want to know, since we're all here, ma'am and sirs, ano po ang opinion nyo dito? Are you for or against such statements that China is claiming that Palawan specifically is part of China? Anyone can answer po.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Mark Gamboa. Yan.
Please answer the question.
Yan. Ako po, as a vlogger din po, and someone who loves this country, I strongly condemn yung pong mga propaganda na lumalabas na yan. Ang Palawan po ay sa Pilipinas, ang mga taga-Palawan po ay mga Pilipino, sa atin po yan, at kahit na anong mga fake news na lumalabas po, na sinasabi na ang Palawan ay one day ibabalik sa China, yan po ay dapat tuligsain at dapat po pigilan. At sa akin po, sa aming mga vloggers, kahit na magkakaiba kami ng sinusuportahan ng mga politiko, lahat naman po yan Pilipino Sana po, maski dito man lang sa issue na to, na sinasabi na ang Palawan ay parte ng China, ay magkaisa kami at sabay-sabay po naming ikondena yung pong lumalabas na mga pictures na yan, na ang Palawan ay teritoryo po at posibleng ibalik po sa China. Sana doon man lang po sa aming mga kasamang mga vloggers, kahit ikaw ay sumusuporta kay Duterte, kay Marcos, kay Aquino, kahit sino pa, pero sana po pagdating sa issue ng ating soberanya, ng ating teritoryo, magkaisa po tayo. Ang Palawan ay sa Pilipinas at hindi po sa China. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I'm Dr. Richard Mata. Actually, isa sa advocacy ko po yung i-detect yung mga fake news. Kasi ang daming mga chismis, even celebrities. And this is one. Kasi ito po yung ginagawa ng ibang vloggers na para dumami po yung kanilang followers. If you create a statement na shocking, maraming magpa-follow sa'yo. So I made a list of that, but one thing is you have to check the other news outlet like Inquirer, ABS-CBN, etc. Kung ganito kalaki yung news na yan, dapat lumabas din dito sa ibang media. Kung hindi naman lumabas, malaki talagang chance na fake news yan. So dapat wag mong i-share. So naging automatic kasi dahil very extravagant yung claim, nag-share siya, nagva-viral siya. So again, it's still for me a fake news. Of course, Palawan is for Philippines only, forever.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Mr. Chair? Ay, sorry. Aaron Peña, Old School Pinoy. Sir, kami, magkakaiba man kami ng sinusuportahan, ulitin ko nga yung sinabi niya. Pagdating sa bayan natin, hindi pwedeng agawin kung ano yung sa atin. Hindi po kami magtatraidor sa bayan. Hindi po kami makabagong makapili. Ang Pilipinas ay sa Pilipino. Hindi po natin dapat ito ibigay kahit kanino. Salamat po.
Thank you, sir. Any further?
Sir, permission to answer. Aside from the obvious, which everyone is, supports the Philippines, sir, kasi bata pa lang ang social media sa Philippines. So I believe that you really want to learn about how social media works. So I think, sir, we should also realize that there is what you call among different camps social media warfare. And one type of social media warfare is you sabotage the other camp by pretending to be that camp. For example, I am pro-BBM. I will write something that's anti-BBM, even if I'm pro-BBM, to make myself seem like fake news. I really believe, sir, na you believe that we should really understand how social media
Ma'am, I'm
works.
sorry to cut you, Mama. I'm sorry. But I do understand what you're trying to say.
Yes, sir.
But the simple question is, do you believe that Palawan is part of our country and not of another nation? Yun lang po yung tanong ko. I just want to hear the sentiments of the vloggers since nandito po tayo ngayon, ma'am.
My apologies, sir. Yeah, of course, sir. Of course.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Anyone
thank you.
else?
Natural po. Siyempre, tulad ng sabi ko kanina sa opening statement, dapat ipinapagtanggol natin ang ating bansa sa mapayapa at tamang pamamaraan. At tulad din ni Dr. Richard Mata, sabi nga niya, ito po ay fake news. Kaya hindi po ako nagre-react masyado sa ganito, except that you asked for our opinion.
Thank you, ma'am. Sino pa po? Baka meron lang. I just wanna hear.
Dr. Ethel Pineda.
Yes, ma'am.
That's obviously false. Anyone who went through school and who attended history classes would right away know that that is preposterous.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir,
Sir, Palawan is definitely within Philippine territory as defined. So, mali po yung news na yan. And it doesn't even come from a reliable source. So, I definitely po na masasabi na fake news po yan.
thank you, sir. Sino pa? Meron pa po?
I just want to clear out, lahat po tayo dito ay pro-Filipino. It's just that magkakaiba tayo ng values, magkakaiba tayo ng approach. While others want aggressive approach, ako po ang gusto ko, friend to all, enemy to none, because I saw the result from the previous administration. So lahat tayo gusto natin ng magandang Pilipinas kasi hindi ako titira dito kung ayoko ng Pilipinas. Pangalawa, I won't say na fake news yan or anything sa ngayon because this is how I process information.
Again, sir, is Palawan part of Philippines or not?
Of
Para sa
course,
inyo po.
it's already accepted internationally.
Sa inyo lang, sir. Yung
Yes
opinion
po.
mo. Okay,
It's
sir, thank you. Other
already-
vloggers
it's
po.
a fact that it is a
Anyone
part
else,
of
sir?
the Philippines.
Anyone? Gusto ko lang mabilis lang. I want to drive at a point. I just want to hear your opinion, ma'am, and sir, with all due respect. Yes, sir.
Sir, I am not under oath. I will swear to you now. Okay, I am a lawyer. I took an oath to defend the Constitution, and this is part of the Constitution. So, I never give that any attention at all.
So, sir, you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay na po tayo. Now, the point that I just want to drive at, the passion, yung mga efforts ng mga vloggers natin, siguro we should channel it to something very important dun sa sovereignty ng ating bansa. Siguro if we hear some news like this, na may nakita tayo, like sabi ni Sir Mark Gambo, na isang vlogger din, I think we should do something about this. You have followings eh. Marami pong naniniwala sa inyo. I think I mean, it's unsolicited advice. Baka it's good that we could write something about this para po sa ating bansa. Well, that's my opinion. And again, Mr. Chair, I would want to know sana with Facebook and TikTok, gaya ng sinabi ni Ma'am Pichi Paderna kanina, na meron silang automatic na hindi pa nire-report 99% out of the 4 million plus posts that has been taken down. Nati-take down nila. I want to know kung yung mga ganitong klaseng posts kasama ba sa mga pinagbabawal ng platform nila. Again, Mr. Chair, and sa ating mga vloggers, thank you for being here and thank you for supporting our country. Like what President Bongbong said, na not a single inch of our country will be given. We will fight for our country. At ako naniniwala, at least for sa mga batang Tondo na nire-represent ko, walang kahit isang batang Tondo na magkakalulo sa bansa natin. And I thank you. Let's all join together and let's fight for our country. Gaya nila Sir Tariela. Again, thank you, Mr. Chair, for the time.